Welcome back to the Ghost Bunny Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget Marcourt, with a brand new episode for you guys. My guests today are Leigh and Lori from Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet podcast. Together, Leigh and Lori are the mother-daughter duo behind the hit podcast, Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, where the two explore the mythology, folklore, and supernatural themes in beloved movies, television shows, and music. The podcast name is inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer, capturing the essence of a witchcraft shop filled with strange and intriguing finds. While Leigh and Lori take their research seriously, they keep their delivery lighthearted, aiming to create a safe space for laughter, learning, and discovery. Since its launch in 2020, Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet has garnered over 800,000 downloads and won Best Pittsburgh Podcast in 2023 and Pittsburgh's second best podcast, Influencer in TikTok, in 2024. For the past 2 years, Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet has hosted fan gatherings in Western New York's home for mediumship and spiritual healing, the Lilydale Assembly. These began because of the interest and demand from passionate listeners who were in search of a way to connect with others in the UBMC community. For their third annual retreat in 2026, the show is expected 50 to 60 attendees from all over the world. So who are they? Leigh Morrissey is a quintessential 90s baby with a flair for all things cosmic and creepy. Armed with degrees in both digital marketing and fine art, she spent over a decade weaving magic in media. An Aquarius sun with an Aries moon and an Aries rising, Leigh is passionate about the community and connection her work fosters. Lori Lazar is Uncle Bob's resident plant goddess and herbalist. Known for her deep knowledge of obscure pop culture trivia, her interests include documentaries, crafting, history, and cottage witchcraft. A Virgo sun with an Aries moon and Libra rising, she works in the natural products industry and feels most at home foraging in the woods. And I'm so excited to talk to them today. I met them while I was in Lilydale, and we've been talking about doing this ever since, and today is finally the day. Leigh and Lori, thank you so much for doing the show today.
Absolutely. Hi, we're so excited.
I'm excited too. And did you see my shirt?
I did. I'm so happy it got there in time.
Yeah.
I was worried.
Me too, because it was perfect. I didn't have to think about what to wear. I already knew.
It looks great.
So just so people know about this shirt, I first met you guys, and met people from your listeners or your team or whatever you want to call you. Do you have a name for your listeners?
Our community. We just call them our community. Yeah.
So we were all at Lilydale on the same weekend or weekday. I don't even know what days of the week I was there, but we were all there around the same time.
So
and I kept seeing everybody wearing these shirts. And I'm like, well, first let me back up and say, when I went to Lilydale, I wanted to buy a ton of merch. I was like, I want the Lilydale sweatshirt and the Lilydale t-shirts and the mug and the everything. And okay, I love Lilydale, but their merch needs some work.
You know what? Love. Yeah, I could get. You know what? I could get in there and do a little something.
Please do, because I was volunteering myself. Anybody help, please.
So we run retreats out there, and two of our retreat attendees texted us, and they're like, "Bridget's in our. I think you did a ghost." Paranormal investigation course, and she's asking about the shirts, and I was like, "Oh my God, cool!"
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah, well, because like I said, I wanted merch, and then I saw everybody walking around with these shirts, and I was like, "Oh, those are so much cooler than anything in the gift shop. Where'd you guys get those?" And they were like, "Oh, it's part of our community, our the podcast and everything." And I was like, "I need one of those because it says Lilydale, and they're cuter than what they have there." So
horn.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
So I'm over here
she designed it. She does all of the merch design.
I do, yeah.
I love that. Cool. Yeah, please help Lilydale out with that.
Gladly.
You know what I wanted too? Just super simple. I was hoping that they would have just the collegiate letters across it just said Lilydale. And maybe an established year would be cool.
Yeah. Late 1800s. That's cool. Yeah, I like that idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just something super basic like that. But I thought that would be so cute. And I was hoping that they'd have cute like that. Or, okay. So then did you guys stick around for the Women's Day parade?
Oh, we saw you. Yeah. The Mae West Day. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I told the listeners that or anything yet, but it was Women's Weekend that we were there. And then they have it was Mae West's birthday. I think they do it around her birthday
17.
every year.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do a Mae West parade, and everybody's encouraged to dress up like Mae West, of course. I don't pass up an opportunity like that.
Dude, we missed the
Icon.
memo. I was like, our whole community, our whole group would have dressed up next year,
I'm
man.
getting garb for next year.
Our retreats somehow they seem to fall like we have Mae West's Day on lock.
Yeah.
We're there, like that's our time to shine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's the perfect weekend.
It really is.
It is the perfect weekend that coincides with what we do on our podcast. So
Yeah.
it couldn't have picked a better time to be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say that the women who coordinate that event did have some cute shirts. They were like hot pink, like fluorescent pink, and it had like, you know how like the Barbie silhouettes?
Yes.
It had that, but it was Mae West.
Right.
Oh, that's cute.
In her like iconic garb.
Yeah. Maybe we need to like bring Mae West into the fold. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, she's so instrumental there in Lilydale, you know?
Definitely. So they sent me, I was telling them how much I wanted that shirt and I wanted to buy it. And they were like, oh, we only made 5 for the.
Oh my God.
you have to love Lilydale. Like they like walk the walk. They are living in their own bubble.
In the 1800s. They're still there.
You're right.
Yeah. Which is very quaint, you know?
It's what makes it such a cool experience to go there. But then at the same time, if you want merch, you're like,
Right. Yeah. We can bridge the gap maybe between, you know.
Let's work on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
But they sent me the shirt and this and a cute mug. It was actually not one that I saw at the gift shop, but
nice.
they said in they're like, they had like a little slogan. It wasn't on the shirt or anything like that, but it just like came in like a postcard or something with the stuff. And it said, Lilydale, we have a message for you. And I thought, that is so cute. I would wear a t-shirt really with that.
Yeah.
Well, someone told me that they used to give out like or sell mini spirit trumpet keychains. Yeah, and I was like, dude.
Yeah.
We want those.
Yes.
Like, bring them back. That's what we need to be doing.
Absolutely.
Get into it. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
We can like all lead the charge together on
Let's do it. Let's give them a list of like, these are our ideas.
We've got a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me how, why you guys go to Lilydale, how this got started, and like what your experiences like are, what your experiences are like there.
Oh, geez. Okay. You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we, how the retreat started is we have a podcast, Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet. So she's my mom. I'm the daughter. Sometimes that surprises people that we're mom and daughter. We get sisters a lot. So that's good for you and maybe like a little insulting to me, but it's fine. It's fine. So we, originally she's an herbalist. Mm-hmm. So we had an online apothecary together where she made herbal products and I promoted it because I have a background in art and marketing. And then when the pandemic happened, it kind of like shut everything down real quick. And we were like, well, why don't we just do a podcast and yap? Because people seemed really drawn to our dynamic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We get Gilmore Girls a lot. We kind of get put in that box. And so we were like, well, let's just lean into that and talk for a little bit. And
say the Gilmore Girls meet Supernatural.
Yeah.
Like spooky Gilmore Girls.
Meets Jay and Silent Bob. That's where I'm going.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's actually pretty accurate.
That is.
But we, I don't talk herbs. Like I'm not an herbalist. So we were like, well, the podcast shouldn't really be about herbs. What do we kind of meet in the middle on? And it was like
always pop culture.
Pop culture. We love movies. Since I was little, that's kind of been our way to connect. And we like everything spooky, ghosts, witches, vampires. That's, so we kind of started out on the podcast aiming to talk about just witches,
right?
Like just witches in pop culture, and maybe like pick a movie and then teach you about what they were inspired by, like in actual folklore, history, all that stuff. But we quickly expanded to just anything we consider magical.
Sci-fi. Yeah. Anything that we could. Sometimes we'll even take a piece of pop culture that seemingly has no magical component to it at all, and we find something. And I think a great example is St. Elmo's fire for you, because there's a real St. Elmo's fire, and it's like a magical.
In Greek mythology, there's a myth about, St. Elmo. And so the movie from the 80s, it has nothing to do with magic or,
per se. But we found a magical component. Yeah.
Yeah. So in yapping about magic, we talked about Lilydale a lot because of Arthur Conan Doyle is how we kind of like got there, because
and Harry Houdini, our two patron saints of Uncle Bob's, is what
they haunt us. We make jokes that they won't leave us. Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yes.
Okay, they won't leave us the hell alone. We love them, but they do haunt us a little bit. But because Arthur Conan Doyle was, Sherlock Holmes, but he was a spiritualist.
Yeah.
And he, famously went to Lilydale, and he was all about spiritualism, but his pal Harry Houdini was like trying to disprove
everything, even though he wanted to believe.
His goal was to like find, someone he could, say, this is
that's the real deal.
It just wasn't cutting it for him.
Actually, between
they're like
the two of them,
old school Mulder and Scully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in talking about Lilydale and them, and we've been going since I was like 14.
Right.
So I'm 32 now for, reference. Yeah. But those conversations naturally, because Lilydale is a spiritualist town, if you don't know. And so naturally people were curious about Lilydale. And so we've talked about that many times, and our community wanted a way to experience it and meet together, because we've been doing this for 5 years now, and before that it was 5 years of Hedgewich Apothecary, so 10 years of building this community, and they wanted a way to like meet each other
and connect.
So we're like, well, why don't we just do it in Lilydale? Because how it is now that you've been there, it's like contained, and you can kind of like do your own thing just in the town. So
and there's something for everybody. You know what I mean? Like you can believe whatever you believe. You can just want to go and sit by the water or take a walk in the forest, or you can, deep dive into all of the classes and the healing temple and the message services. So there's so much to experience there. And so there's something for everybody, along with the camaraderie and the community and,
Yeah. So we started that in 2024. And so when we met you, that was our second year this year. And we're going to do our third next year. And so you met our wonderful group of people. They're super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was my first time going. And
that's so wild.
It was, I had been talking about it on the podcast for, 5 years or something like that. And finally, I was able to go. And it was such a special experience. Like, it really is magical. It's hard to put it in words to other people. So because it's a feel, it's not so much the experience. I mean, it is that, but it's also the feeling that you have when you're there. It's very peaceful.
Extremely like the second you walk through the gates, you kind of like your vibration just kind of drops. It is very hard to explain. We've said that on our show many times. Like you have to believe us, and you have to just get out there to understand like the feeling of it. Yeah, it's really cool that you were there for the first time. Like the first experience there is always, I love like bringing new people there because of what we're like, just watching them have that like light bulb moment of it is really cool.
I mean, we were really lucky because the first time we went, I was, on my own spiritual journey. And so I'm like, reading voraciously and trying to find out anything I can. And so I heard about it through a friend. I was like, we got to go. And it was just this serendipitous moment where we picked up, got in the car and went, and we landed there the same time HBO landed there to do the documentary, What No One Dies in Lilydale.
Yeah.
And so, wow, did we meet some cool people. We saw some awesome things. And it, again, just harkens back to what we do on the podcast. You've got the pop culture and the movies and all that and the documentary happening. And it was fascinating. And so to see still a lot of the mediums that were in that documentary still,
they're still there.
Still thriving there in Lilydale.
It's
it's really neat.
Yeah, it really is. When I got there, it was like a couple minutes after 1, and they were just doing one of the stump readings.
Yeah.
And so we ran out to Inspiration Stump and we sat down and like got to watch that like right away. So it's like immediately in
it's
it.
my favorite thing. Like it's great to get a reading, but I just love to watch them work there.
Yeah.
It's really cool to experience how everyone has a different relationship with mediumship and just like
a different style, a different
and the nerve it takes to get up there and do it. It's like really cool to see. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Do you guys get readings while you're there?
So we we have many times. Was it the first time we were there that I got that reading from Jessie first?
Oh yeah. Do you mean like a private reading or just readings?
Well, has anybody picked you like when you're at a group?
Oh yeah.
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 Often, yeah. But you had a very special connection.
It was either the first, that first time we landed there was when HBO was filming, but we've been going like every year since then. So it's I don't know. It was one of the first times we were there and I had lost a friend. He was 15. He was hit by a car and it was like really like the details of it were just, I don't know, very specific. And when I went to a stump with you and a medium who is like my favorite. I will sing her praises always, Jessie First. She's not there anymore. I think she's in Michigan now, but she's super cool if you can learn about her. She got up there and just every detail. He was 15. His name was blank. This is how he passed and he looked like this and you had art classes together and like every detail. And I was like,
and he knew you were coming
and he knew you were coming and he needed you to do something. And so I was like, you know how they're like, raise your hand. And I was like, what, 15 at the time, 16. And I was like, oh my God. And she was just like, she just zeroed in. And like sometimes when you're getting those messages, I mean, it's very personal and specific. And she was like, he wants you to tell his brother that it was very quick and he didn't suffer. And his brother has been, in a lot of pain about this. And you need to go and tell him. And I was like, okay. And so I did. And I feel like that is what kicked off like my own
spiritualism
journey. Yeah, it really did like kind of change my course because I did what she asked. And I think because I did so, like stuff has been happening since. So
like he's your guide, right? Kind of.
They've told me many times that friend is like one of my guides.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, how can that not change your perspective on things and like
exactly.
It makes you a believer,
Sure.
And as a kid, it's kind of like that's very special. It gets rid of a lot of fear. Kind of like knowing like, or if I believed in this, so this is my path, but to know or believe that you continue on, it does kind of help with the fear of death or those really hard conversations.
And then you guys have gotten personal readings, I assume, too?
We have,
we have. Just that one time, though, right?
You're gonna. I was like, are you gonna bring it up? We got. Yeah, we've been going there so much. So, in my opinion, like when I get a reading, or like at a stump, or like I'm set, I'm solid. I don't need to. But we did book with.
Yeah, so we're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and so I had like a spiritual mentor here that I would go to, and she said, "Oh, do you go out to Lily Dome?" I said, "Oh yeah, we go out every year." She said, "Oh, you got to see this one medium. She's a friend of mine. I really
like the best
you
of the best.
Got to see her." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so her and I went, and it was literally about 45 minutes of her just talking about herself and all of the famous people that she has read for.
Oh, yeah.
And so you kind of like, I walked out of there and I thought, wow, like you could be upset, right? You could be angry. And I thought, no, there was the message. The message is that we have the ability to get our own messages, right?
At that point, people had been talking to both of us as if like, anyway, like as if we had already known what they would have said. Like we were like in on something. Does that make sense? And I'm like,
Like, yeah.
Like we were mediums ourselves, kind of like. And they had been doing that. And so I think that specific reading, it was actually exactly what we both needed at the time, was kind of like, oh, maybe we're supposed to kind of get our own messages.
Yeah.
Because they're not even, like, they're assuming that we already do.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the way to look at it. Because we had gone to a psychic fair here in Pittsburgh, and you had gone and got a reading. Both of us did. But the woman specifically to you was like, so when you are here, when you go to Lilydale, she was from Lilydale. And she said, when you're a medium.
That's what I mean. They just like say it. And I'm like, I didn't say I was a medium.
Right.
Do you feel like you are?
She didn't acknowledge it yet.
I think that, so I'm 32 now, and I have just now said, like, I've acknowledged it now, but it has taken that many years for me to fully open that door, and many years of like mentors, other mediums being like, hey buddy.
Yeah. Like, I've known it for a long time. I've told her for many years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are telltale signs.
That's so interesting. Like, what do you think some of the signs were, and why do you think you were closed off to it?
Ooh, you go first. What were the signs, Mom?
Well, I think so. I had, when she was, I don't know how old you were. Maybe it was, I don't even know how old you were.
You're talking about the ghost in the hallway?
I had rented a house off of my uncle. And before I got in there, he said, I just want to let you know that this house is haunted. And he said, because they had lived in there for like 20 years and they were moving on. And so he said, I just want to let you know the house is haunted. There's a woman that she comes out every night at like 6:00, and she doesn't bother anybody. She just kind of goes back and forth in the hall. She's just wearing white. And I was like, okay.
Shitting her pants.
And I was like, I'm not going to tell Leanne about this. I'm just not going to say anything.
How old do you think I was? Like 11?
I mean, we had already.
12?
Do you think it was before we went to Lilydale?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it must have been. So I'm out one night and she's at home, and I get a call, and she's like, you have to come home right now. And I said, whoa, what's going on? She's like, I think I saw a ghost in the hallway. And she said, and I said, what do you mean? And it was 6:00. And I said, what do you mean? I was playing real dumb.
I know you did. Yeah.
I was playing it off. I said, what are you talking about? And she said, I said, well, please explain. She said, well, is a woman. She was wearing white. She was going back and forth in the hall. I said, okay. So that was my first sign. And then when she was in high school, in the same house, we're in the same house. So I feel like this house specifically
had something.
Yeah, because there was like a hidden box in the closet that we were afraid to open.
You might like that.
Yeah.
You might like to hear about this.
There was a box. It was an old house that was built in like the 20s or 30s.
Never seen anything like it.
And I've never seen anything like it. And it was like a basic closet, but there was this shelf or this box
that was built into it that was nailed shut, like aggressively nailed shut.
Yeah. And so I didn't open it.
I wanted to open it real bad, and she
I want to open it.
I think that woman in white might be in that fucking closet.
Oh my God.
It would open on its own. So it was like one of those old latch, like that you have to lift up and like latch it, and it would lift up and swing open by itself all the time.
Yeah. And so when she was in high school, she was at work, and she came home from work one night, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and she comes in the door and she said, oh, did you have company? And I said, no. Why? And she said, well, who's that man standing out under the tree? And I said, what do you mean? And so she explained what he was wearing. He had like a fedora hat on. And I said, it's 11 o'clock at night, and who would be here wearing a fedora hat? And as she walked down the hallway, she stopped, because I had all these family photos in the hallway. And she stopped and she looked and she went, oh my gosh, that's a grandpa. And he was wearing the same.
But he was younger. So
So it didn't recognize register to him. Her. But she's seen him a lot. Like they have a connection.
And he usually shows himself to me younger.
Yeah. Like, when he was dapper, he liked to, dress.
He liked the fedora.
Yeah.
I would do that too. I would be like, well, I'm going to present as 20. So,
I mean, why the fuck not?
Your best side of life.
He was just like running by the tree, like real handsome. Yeah, it tracks. Yeah, that was a big, he was kind of one of my like guides in the mediumship thing that has, given me messages many times. Yeah.
At one point she had said, did Grandpap like Slim Jims? And we were vegetarians. And so she had never eaten a Slim Jim.
That's
and
hilarious.
I said, why are you asking me that?
You were appalled.
He ate a Slim Jim every night while he was watching television.
What a weird habit. Yeah.
And she said, I taste it. And so I said,
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Thank you for reminding me. I have like tasted, I don't know if you've noticed, some mediums will like taste or smell, or I've gotten that a few times. Not too much, but yeah.
So I was pretty sure she was on the path.
Now that you lay it all out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you were afraid to open that door?
Me? I don't know. I really don't know, because, oh geez, I have always had like a weird fascination with death, and I hate to say that, because I'm like, okay, I'm not, not a freak, but like I was just very well aware of death at a young age, and I was very curious, and I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to understand it, and I was kind of always in the know, or of the belief that that was not all there was. Like that, yeah, sure, physical death, okay, but something is going on. And we actually talked about this a little bit. Like, I think growing up, not to spill too much, tea, but growing up in a household that is maybe a little abusive, or you're kind of prone to energetically tune in.
Be on your toes.
Yeah, like, because you kind of have to learn to read energy, because maybe you have to walk on eggshells. What's the mood here today? What do I gotta? And so I feel like being in a chaotic environment as a child kind of prepped me to be attuned to that energy, but then that also kind of made me scared of it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I think for many years I was kind of like, I have my own crap going on, man. Like, I don't need other noise. I'm trying to, but it took a lot of time and a lot of mentorship to realize like that walking through that door is what helps clear that noise.
Right.
For some people.
Right.
I find that to be fascinating, that you've made that correlation, that people who maybe had a rough childhood or like drama at home or whatever might be more intuitive. And
it literally just dawned on me.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts out as empath, right? You become an empath because you can see the energy that you've experienced and what that looks like, and you can read it very well on other people. And so that makes you empathic, right? It gives you a grace for people because you understand what they've been through and they don't need to say a word. And so then I think that continually develops if you want it to.
Yeah. If
into more.
Right.
Yeah. But like, even what you were saying too, like you read the room, like read like how people are feeling and stuff, because maybe, dad is grumpy and you don't want to like piss him off or whatever. And so you're like you said, walking on eggshells and stuff.
Learn. Yeah. And I feel like in the middle of that, you maybe can learn to pick up on some other things because you're just kind of already learning how to do that. It's very interesting. It's kind of like a silver lining. In my mind.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Like as a child, that would be pretty scary to, see things that aren't there and try to, because we're really taught, as a child, you have these abilities. We all have these abilities. And as a child, they're at their apex, right? And then we're taught to tamp them down. No, that's not real. That can't happen. And so you kind of bury it. And so then it becomes like scary if you start seeing these things as maybe a 12, 13, 14-year-old, because you're like, well, I'm not supposed to see these things. This isn't real, right? Because that's what you're told. And so I think you have to come into your own to say, own it and welcome that in.
Right.
Yeah, because my stuff started happening at 12 and it was very scary for me.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, I feel very grateful that you took me to Lilydale at that young age.
Yeah.
And now that I have a daughter and, you know, like giving her that option of like, hey, like here's a different perspective. Like you maybe don't have to be scared of these conversations or these topics, or if you know, are picking up on something. I mean, I am very grateful because I know a lot of people don't have that.
Right.
And are taught the very opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know when I had my experience, my parents were like, ghosts? What are you talking? What?
Right.
Like,
right.
They never even thought about paranormal or ghosts or anything like that.
And
so it was like.
Right. And then that takes years to unpack and find your way kind of back. So like when you asked why was I closed off, I think it's kind of just like that. Like I was just a little persuaded by the energy around me of like, no, don't do that. Even though I had both sides of it, I was still, it's hard to kind of, that's why I really do have respect for the mediums, because you really have to like not give a shit.
Yeah.
What anyone is saying, what anyone thinks about you, because you just have to trust in yourself. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of years for most people.
I'm so envious of when you meet people and you talk to them, they're like, oh, I'm a 5th generation spiritualist medium, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
cool.
I had to break free of, I always say it, I have like religious trauma because I was raised in the church and I never, you know, it never felt right to me. But to break away from that in my family was a no-no. You know what I mean? And so I had to, as an adult, branch out and find my way. And then I was able to share that with her. So, and then she can share it with my granddaughter. So now we're going 3 generations, but
Thank
you know,
you. I thank you.
Right. Yeah. But, you know, I started from scratch.
You did a good job, buddy.
Well, do you think the 3rd generation has abilities, or too early to tell?
Oh my gosh, yes. She just turned 3. Oh my God. Yeah, I was actually talking to you about this earlier. Like she'll come and hand me a piece of paper that she has like ripped out of a book, or it's just a scrap of paper. And I'll flip it over and it has like a very clear message on it. Like the words that she has somehow ripped out spell out like a very clear message. I don't want to give to, but it's like, girl, she is just, she's definitely gonna, and I'm excited for her because she loves Lilydale.
Yeah.
And she has like people out there that she is very, that she's grown close to. So I like that because of the work you've put in, like she is gonna have that as an option. Yeah, that's pretty, if she wants it.
Yeah. What do you guys do when you're at Lilydale? Like, do you have like events where you guys all get together, or does everybody have kind of a different schedule?
So the retreats, yes, we have a schedule. We have an itinerary. So when you buy a retreat ticket, you get access to the itinerary, and it includes specific workshops.
Okay.
And because like we've been building this community for a while, you get to do everything with us, and we lead very, specific workshops.
Right.
This year we did astrology, ancestor veneration, which was really cool to do in Lilydale.
Kind of just what you were talking about. Sometimes you have to break those generational cycles, whether they're on that side or this side, to further your journey, right?
Yeah.
So that was a really well-received class.
That was a cool, we did like we created mini altars where you had to the whole weekend go and find a specific object that maybe represented an ancestor and create, it was all about kind of tapping into your own intuition this year is what our goal was. You did a lot of, she's like the earthy.
I'm the earthy, the herbalist, the plant woman. So I talked about the old growth forest because what an honor to have that in a place like Lilydale. I think it feeds the energy there. 100%. It's so palpable when you're out at the stump. So we did earthing, grounding exercises, and we talked about specific trees, the magic that those specific trees lend to the forest and how to use them in your magical practices. And then I taught a class on fungi, flora, and the fae. And so we went up to the fairy forest and, we talked about, the magic of the fairies and the air element. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up, the fairy forest. Like we walked through, there was a paranormal investigation that I wasn't hosting the paranormal investigation. I just went and took the class because I had her on my podcast and she invited me to come to it.
Yeah.
Tawny, yeah.
Our group loves Tawny. Yeah. She seems cool. Yeah.
So I went and just kind of went for that investigation and everything. But then afterwards, a few of us stuck around with two of the Lilydale members and they had like a golf cart. So we were super excited because we're driving all around.
I mean, don't you want a golf cart?
I want my own so
I totally
bad.
want one.
Yeah, whipping around there.
Yeah.
But I have nowhere to use it but Lilydale.
It should be bright pink. Like, I want to deck it out.
Yes.
Like Steve Tyler.
Like his mic.
Yeah, literally.
But we went out, so it was like probably, I don't know, midnight or whatever, and we went out to the fairy forest and we were singing to them.
Yay.
And then afterwards we stopped singing and then we heard like music in the distance. And we were trying to figure out where it was coming from. And so we jumped on the golf cart and we're driving all around through Lilydale, seeing like, is somebody playing music or having like a little event or something?
Yeah, right.
It was silence.
Dude,
So we were like, wait,
forest.
Yeah, did we hear the fairies?
100.
Yeah.
I think yes.
Yeah.
We've seen lights out there before. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really like what they've done with the fairy forest. If you haven't been there, they have like, you're allowed to leave little offerings. And so there's just
as you should.
You
don't want to piss them off.
Yeah, they're a little
they
tricky.
like shiny objects.
Yes.
Yeah, you should always leave something.
And did you guys hear they have to take all of that stuff out?
Yes.
Dude, I know. And they said they like
catalog
catalog it.
My gosh.
That's wild.
Because I know people are probably thinking, well, what's the big deal? But you don't understand.
No, there's like hundreds of little
thousands of things.
Yeah. It's
Everywhere.
really magical to see. It's hard to explain, but yeah, just think like, do you remember Harriet the Spy when she goes in what was that, like that art space of her friend and there's just trinkets everywhere? That's what it reminds me of. It's very, very whimsical in the fairy forest.
Yes.
That's cool that they like respect what people leave enough to catalog it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cute.
And talk about a great place to introduce children.
Right.
The magic of Lilydale, really.
And fairies. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then we did an investigation at the pet cemetery.
I love the pet cemetery.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. Our dog passed away 2 years ago now. And I really want to take, like, there's such a special energy in that pet cemetery. Yeah.
There really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we think that we got like a dog on camera, like a shadow of a dog.
Wow. That's cool. Our group kept seeing owls in specifically like the pet cemetery this year, which was.
There are 2 owls living in there, in that forest.
That's cute. Oh, I like that.
That's the first I've ever
seen the owls. Yeah, that's the first I've heard about that.
I didn't see them, but I did hear them screeching. And Stacy gave me a tour of everything from Sacred Grounds. She's amazing.
They're like buds. We love them. Yeah.
And she told me about the owls in the forest there.
Yeah, they came this year. So then in my mind, I'm like, well, what's the mythology of owls? Like I immediately have to go and investigate
because
what
there's
they
messages
mean
in that, right?
Yeah, in my mind, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's so many ways to get messages, and it doesn't always have to be
directly from a medium,
right?
Yeah. It's interesting. When I first found out I was going to Lilydale, I didn't even like make an appointment with a medium or anything like that. I was like, I'm just going there to experience. I want to see it. Like I just thought I just didn't even think about it. Yeah. And then Shannon, do you guys know Shannon Taggart?
Yeah, so we're big fans. We're hoping to like collab with her in some way because we're just I could sing her praises too. She's cool.
Yeah, so she was on the podcast and she like helped me set stuff up for Lilydale, like introduced me to Stacy and things like that. And then she messaged me like, I think I was already there, and she was like, "Are you getting a reading or anything?" And I was like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't book anything or anything like that." And then I was thinking to myself, wait, I'm going all the way to Lilydale and I'm not even going to get a reading?
Right.
What am I thinking?
Right.
And then I was like, if you know anybody, like if you recommend somebody, like, and she was like, I do. I think you should go see Jan.
I knew you were going to say Jan.
Yeah.
So so Jan is from Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah.
And if you're from Pittsburgh, you know that Pittsburgh people just like flock to each other. Like, oh my God, she's cool, right? Yeah. Jan is cool.
She's like, you have to go sit in her salt cave and like get a reading.
That was part of our retreat. She sponsored our retreat and she let all of our people come in and
sit in that salt cave, which is like, isn't that
amazing?
It's a nice space in that salt cave.
It is. It's so relaxing. So she leaves you in there for like 20 minutes or so. I don't know because I didn't have my phone, but it felt like about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just kind of relax and you can lay on the floor or sit in the chair or like whatever you want to do. I think there's light music playing, maybe just very faint music playing. Faint.
Yeah, it's nice and calming.
Yeah, and it was really hot because it was summertime. So there was air conditioning going and then all the salt candles or whatever they are. They're like lights or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just super relaxing. And then she came in and gave my reading and my dog came through. So
she's an animal.
Immediately I'm crying.
Oh yeah. She will definitely she's got a special connection to animals. I'm glad you got to talk to her. Oh yeah. That anytime anyone talks about animals, I'm like a major weeper. I just am a wreck.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. And then there was another thing that like I said, I was too late in booking anything. So I went up to the Angel House to look at the sign-in sheet, but have you guys done the Mari?
No, but so our group, they sponsored us as well, Angel House. And so our group was like, they took over the Angel House. And so I'm like, what's this Mari? And we know the woman who does it is amazing. Yeah. So I would love to sign up for it. Yeah. That's what I love about Lilydale is there are so many different things that you can get into. Like Reiki, there's a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Did you do the Mari?
No, because I went up there and I was going to sign in on the sheet because there's like time. It shows you if there's any times available. But I was there on, I don't remember exact dates, but let's just say I was there on the Saturday and the sign up sheet was for Thursday.
Oh, you're like, what?
And I was like, maybe I'll come back. And then I came back and then the Saturday one was on there, but it was already booked out.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was like, okay.
I know. It looked neat because, they must do it in the opposite side of the guest house. I was curious. Yeah, maybe we'll.
Yeah, I kind of want to get in contact with her and see if she would be a guest because I just want somebody to break it down. Like, what is it exactly?
Yeah, they're lovely. I can give you their info if you would like. They're very lovely people. I'm sure she would love to chat.
Yeah, because I just find it so interesting because it's totally different than a psychic medium reading.
Right.
It is. I don't fully know what it entails, but I was reading again. That's what I think is so cool is you can really walk down so many different roads at Lilydale.
There's so much and so many avenues. There's something for everybody.
They encourage, at the root of it is free thinking, and so that I love the you can let your mind just kind of go.
Yeah, I don't really know it either. It's more of a psychological test, I think, but it starts out with coloring or something. I was going to say,
I saw the pastels.
Yeah, the paint.
And they were saying draw, which I really like. Mm-hmm. And Stacy, does really cool aura work. Mm-hmm. You can go down that road.
Yeah. It's so neat. I want to do a past life regression.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, that would be cool.
I'm sure somebody does it there.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think John White used to do it, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
He
was a really cool medium. He passed away, but he was one of the best in my mind. But you could probably find someone if you're looking to spiritually expand your mind in some way, you can probably find that there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your guys' podcast, the type of things you guys discuss on here, because you guys do an interesting thing where you relate it back to movies and TV shows and music, everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that started with our apothecary. I am a trained herbalist, and so I was coming at everything with a very clinical viewpoint, and we were having a hard time reaching people. And so Leigh said, well, hey, we need to make it approachable. And so we ended up every product we had was named after a pop culture reference. Like our coffee
movie
substitute was Wake the Dead, or our sleep was Enter Sandman, you know? And so then people would come to the events and they'd be like, oh, I know that movie. Oh, I know that song. And it was very relatable. And then it got you talking, it got the conversation flowing. And so when we were shifting to the podcast and we weren't going to talk about herbs, we said, well, it has to be pop culture, because that's really
kind of where we
that's where we thrive together.
Yeah.
And so the Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet is a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show. When Giles buys the magic box, it is originally called Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet. So the premise is like anything that you would find in a magic shop.
And in a cult shop.
Anything
hidden, weird.
Yes.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
So we like pick a piece of pop culture, a movie or a song or an artist, something like that. And then we walk you through that piece of pop culture and then tell you, like, we call it a magical lesson, like either what they were directly inspired by, if it's a piece of history, like witchcraft or something like that, or just something like we were talking today about Clue. We did a Clue episode.
Stop it right now. One of my favorite movies ever.
Dude, it's such a good movie.
Who doesn't love Tim Curry, right?
Tim Curry is
and I've had murder mystery birthday parties, like specifically I'm trying to like capture that whole Clue essence.
See? We same. And so my lesson was peacocks, like the folklore of peacocks, because like we let our community vote on if it was going to be, what was I going to do? Plums.
Yeah.
Like we will literally dive into the mythology of anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a fun game for us of watching a movie or listening to a song being like, what can we find that's like strange about it or weird? Like, how can we teach you something new about, you know, from this movie? And it is really fun. We try to keep things very fun and like we want you to, even though some of these topics, like we're talking about death and, you know, mediums and stuff like that, we want you to feel safe and comfortable, like letting your mind explore. And so everything we do is rooted in kind of being like silly.
Right. Which is, I think, why spiritualism comes to mind, or it comes into play so much in the podcast, because really almost everything you dive down at the core of it is either Arthur Conan Doyle or Harry Houdini, because Arthur Conan Doyle, I mean, Theosophy, Madame Blavatsky, the fairies, the Cottingley fairies. I mean, he literally had his hand in every aspect of this world. And so it's like you break it down. Oh, there he is. You know what I mean?
Eventually you get to...
I mean, it's we call it being Doyle.
The 7 degrees of art.
I was just going to say that.
You know?
You got Doyle. But he is a good example of how like something like Sherlock Holmes isn't necessarily magical.
Right.
But Arthur Conan Doyle himself had like this very cool history of being involved in spiritualism. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking to uncover.
Yeah. So I saw on one of your episodes, you guys reviewed a movie that's another one of my old-time favorites. And I was just, when I was like looking at this, I was thinking, I need to watch this again because it's been so long since I've seen it. But it was a childhood favorite. I've seen it many times, but the movie Ghost Story.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what are you going to pick? Ghost Story is a good one.
That's a good one. And I got to tell you, I mean, what a cast.
You love the old
What a cast.
Yeah.
The cast, you guys.
Epic.
Like it's almost unbelievable. Like I've had to go back and double check. Is that really the cast of that movie?
Yeah.
Because I have it up on my phone to share with the listeners because you won't believe it, to be honest.
Well, some of these actors are, I mean, all of the cast are iconic actors, and a few of them, I think it was their last movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys, it's not you guys, but the listeners. Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Yeah.
Stop it right now. Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire. Come on.
Like, what?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's others too, but those are the two that really like, I'm like, wait, I've seen
them
something.
all together in like one film.
Yeah.
Was
and
pretty...
I feel like Douglas Fairbanks Sr., I feel like there's a haunted story about his house in Hollywood. I think.
Okay, fun.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay, love that.
And then I know like Pickford That whole place was haunted and really cool. And then one of the things that I loved about this movie too is they had, and I'm double checking what it was called, but like the Chowder Club.
I think, was that like your lesson? I think you tried to investigate if the Chowder Club was inspired by anything. Was your goal there? Because you love that movie.
I love that movie.
Me too.
As a kid, I found that terrifying. I thought it was really scary.
I mean, that girl was kind of creepy when she came back.
Oh, she's creepy. Wait, no spoilers. No spoilers. But it's like such a cool ghost story. And
it's iconic old Hollywood, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel that way, yeah. And it's just like a good creepy story. It's like that classic ghost story.
It really is, yeah.
And then I always wanted like a group of friends that I could have like my own chowder club with, because that's where it was this group of old men that they'd had this club since they were kids, and they would get together and tell spooky stories. This particular story just happened to be true.
Dude, it was giving Are You Afraid of the Dark, but way back then.
Way back
like when
day.
They would meet in the mid. Yeah. Oh my God. Chowder Society merch. Is that Chowder Club merch?
Right?
Idea.
Let's get it.
The movie studio might own it already.
That's probably right. Yeah.
I'll call them up. No.
You know what's interesting too is I mean, I don't know if you guys know for sure or not, but I was on the Girls Next Door TV show, and I lived at the Playboy Mansion, and Heth used to have a club called the Shutter Club, and it was the same thing. It was a group of his when he was a little kid, had a group of friends that told spooky stories, and he had like a special logo that he would draw. It was like a skull and stuff.
Let's bring that back. Why aren't people doing that anymore?
Yeah.
I grew up watching you. I will totally tell you that.
Okay, well, I didn't know if you guys knew or not, so I'm like, I'll just say it right now.
We make a joke that Laura blacked out for the late 90s to early 2000s. She does not know any pop culture that happened in that time frame. I was very much there. And so when we met, I was like, I think I said to you, I'm like, you look really familiar. And it's because I watched you growing up, dumbass. I was like, I walked away and I'm like, oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Well, Lori was in the herbs.
No, Laura was out picking flowers in the garden.
Foraging in the forest.
Like, we should quiz you on that time frame, because you would fail epically. It would be pretty bad.
Every once in a while, I'll pull out, like the bands of that era, because I like to
name me one.
Well, I was doing herbs and listening to music.
Name me one band from that time frame.
What's it? 90s, 2000. Tonic is my favorite.
She always says
I love Tonic.
They had one hit.
No.
I'm like, I don't know what Tonic is.
I have all of Tonic's albums.
Was it If You Could Only See the... Okay, don't sue me, Tonic, for singing that song. They had one hit. And that's the only band you can pull from that time frame.
So it was on repeat.
That one song. You're Michael Scotting that one song over and over again.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I went through, like, I did a deep dive in all your guys' episodes and stuff, and I just pulled some topics that I think were fun. We don't have to do deep dives or anything like that, but just like, we'll just talk a little bit about each one of these. Okay. So I had a friend, this one I pulled because I had a friend who deeply believes in Middle Earth.
Oh, wait, like in what way?
Like, she's looking for the person that will tell her where the door is. She's begging people to take her to Mount Shasta because there's a door there. There's a door in Alaska, she told me. The doors to get to Middle Earth.
Wow.
Okay, like Middle Earth, like we're talking Lord of the Rings Middle Earth?
No, she's talking like this whole society that's living in the core of the earth, and there are portals to get there. You just have to be invited by them.
I have not been invited.
I want to be invited. Now I'm mad that I haven't been invited. Why haven't I been invited?
And she's 100% sure that this is going on.
I mean, here's the thing about me. Like, I don't take much. Like, I'm already in. I already believe her.
She is the Mulder and I am the Scully.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah. How do we get there? I'll help you get there.
I want proof.
He has details on how what goes down in there and how people are and how you get accepted, and she's just waiting for that call.
This also sounds like Darby O'Gill.
I thought it was giving like Secret Society Skulls.
Skulls.
Have you seen the movie The Skulls?
I did. That was a long time ago too, right?
It was a long time ago. It was Paul Walker and
yes.
What's the guy I like? Pacey Witter.
Oh, Joshua Jackson. Yeah.
He has never looked better than he does right now. So, I mean, I'll say it. Yeah, that was a good movie. That was a while. Secret societies and stuff like that. We love
that.
What about, I just found out about this one. What about the secret society that's over here in Northern California somewhere where they're in the forest and they're like a bunch of like, do you know about this?
Is it like the like people that haven't like seen like society in a long time and they're like living?
No, this is like like Supreme Court judges and like political figures and stuff.
Oh my gosh, no. So we've never been to California. I kind of want to see what you guys have cooking out there because it seems like a lot of weird stuff.
I gotta go to the Winchester Mystery House.
Oh, I love the Winchester House. Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I spent 2 nights there, like almost overnight. I didn't I still had a hotel room, but I stayed there till like 2 a.m. one night, maybe like 3 a.m. the next night, like filming and doing stuff. But we had the house to ourselves.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Was it had
Any
to be
activity?
Spooky.
You know, it's not that scary there. It's really? Not, there's definitely something there, but it's not like a scary place. It's more just unusual and strange. And like, you know, like they say, there's a door and you open it up and it's a 2-story drop and there's stairs that go into the ceiling. And she had arthritis really bad. So the stairs like zigzag up and they're very low rise.
Yeah.
Like a fun house almost.
Super narrow because she was really tiny.
Yeah.
And she was obsessed with the number 13. So there's like, I forget what all is 13, but there's like 13 panels in the window, 13 fireplaces, 13 bathrooms, 13 this and that. And spiders, there's like spiders in like the windows are like stainless glass, Tiffany stainless glass. And like,
gotta be stunning.
Yeah. And there's like spiders in it. They're custom made and
that's nice.
Everything was pretty incredible.
Rose red is like based kind of loosely, right? Rose red.
So Rose Red is one that have you seen that? It's a mini series by Stephen King. We'll just start talking about movies and shows. I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
We do it all the time. Rose Red was like partially inspired by the Winchester Mystery House. So you can go, the last time I checked, you could watch the whole mini series on YouTube. But it's a Stephen King. It's not based on, it's like one of the only ones not based on something he wrote, like not a book. But it's about like a spooky, weirdly made house that
kind of kept
moves
growing
and
over
grows,
the years.
and it
has a life force of its own.
That's a cool piece of pop culture that was like inspired by actual history.
Yeah. I just had a whole episode on Savannah, Georgia.
Dude, that's
like the number one place she wants to go.
If I could, I think it was like our second episode, right? The Mercer Williams house in Savannah is, if I could paranormal investigate anywhere, it would be there. That place is supposed to be haunted. We visited it. You know,
you can tour it. You can take a tour. Yeah. If you don't know, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, the movie and the book is based on this, the man who owned this house. And you can go tour it and everything is still like pretty much exactly.
Supposed to be very haunted.
I could feel it.
Oh yeah. It's palpable.
All of Savannah felt like that to me.
That's what I've heard. I haven't been.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like when we're talking about like when you walk into Lilydale and there's like a palpable Savannah, the second you kind of pull up, you're like,
ominous.
Yeah. Or just something like there's definitely a different energy floating around there. Yeah.
Kind of like, well, not quite as heavy as the energy that you get when you go to Gettysburg, because that is heavy.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not light and fluffy.
Right.
In Savannah.
You know where I really feel something every time I go, and I love it there, but I definitely feel stuff, is the French Quarter in New Orleans.
Have you ever been there?
I've not.
No, my husband went to school out there, and so he lived there for a few years, and he tells me the exact same thing. He's like, I have to get you out there because it is just like oozing of the stuff, like the paranormal kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the second you're there, you're just like, oh, I feel it. Like, it's all around us. It's all around us.
Yeah, we talked, we did interview with the vampire, and we talked about some of the like vampire legends around there, because I love vampires. I will talk about them any chance I get. I think it's cool, and like all the mythology surrounding vampires is really neat. But the actual like vampire lore in New Orleans is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, they've definitely got some.
They take it seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Anne Rice's house is there. And she used to have that big famous vampire ball. Yeah. The very first time I went to New Orleans, a man gave me a tour and he claimed to be a real vampire.
He probably was. See, I would be like, yes, I believe you.
I believe him.
See, right? Be like, yeah, dude, that's cool. I've heard about the vampire ball. Is there's still something similar? I don't know if it's Anne Rice's, but they're still like very much into the vampires out there.
Yeah. There's still a vampire ball, but it's not Anne Rice's anymore.
Oh man, yeah, that definitely had a specific. You wouldn't know because it was in the early 2000s, but Anne Rice and Queen of the Damned and all that did have its moment.
Definitely.
Soundtrack. Queen of the Damned. Hey, see, there I am with the music again.
Korn was who did that. Okay,
Jonathan Davis.
Tell me about the Bell Witch.
So I lived in Nashville for a few years, and the Bell Witch was huge. I remember down in the park, I used to work for Hard Rock Cafe. So there would be the park, the Riverside Park, I think it was called. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a carousel down there and everything was hand carved, wooden hand carved. And they had this Bell Witch. And I thought, oh, what is this? And so then I had to dive into that lore.
Wait, they hand carved the Bell Witch into the carousel?
Yeah. That's like cool. All of the carousel rides the pieces, were like culture of Nashville and Tennessee.
Wow, I did not know that.
I don't know if it's still there, but
That's
it was
cool.
pretty
This
cool.
This was what, the late 90s?
Yeah.
That's
where I was.
That's where she was.
Yeah. So the Bell Witch, I've always had a special place in my heart for that. The movie, not so good.
What was it called? An American Haunting.
An American Haunting
is the one that's about the Bell
that's the one on the Bell Witch. Okay.
Yeah, but you can go out and tour the house. And the house is haunted on its own, but the cave is supposed to be super haunted. Like people take things out of there, which I have learned. You just don't take things.
Don't touch anything.
No.
Is what I've learned.
And,
just don't touch anything.
Accidents have befell people. Weird things have happened, and they've actually returned the items to the cave to be rid of it. So, and that's separate from the Bell Witch haunting.
The cave itself is like almost its own.
So it's not even the same lore?
No, I think it's a Native American lore in the cave. And the house is its own, where a girl was tormented by ghosts. In the movie, they insinuate that she, was molested by her father. And so then that exhibited in different
that she
ways.
Kind of to deal with it, like created up this ghost lore. But I would do some digging
I think
on that.
In the records, in the Tennessee records, it was the only case that is like went to trial, or they filed
they tried a ghost. Didn't they?
Tried a ghost because the father ended up dead, and they say that the ghost was responsible. So so if you look into that lore, it's been a while since we covered that. That was early on as well, but it's fascinating lore and history.
Tennessee also, I mean, I'm sure you could find anything in any state, but Tennessee also has some spooky tales.
What time period was the Bell Witch happening?
I want to say 1800s.
Okay.
I think it was.
This is more your.
Where's fact check Jake? But it's been so long since we covered that. But I want to say it was in the 1800s.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It was Donald Sutherland and Sissy Spacek in the movie.
Oh, well, those are good actors.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a little unsettling. Okay, so it says from 1817 to 1821.
Yeah.
Okay.
The family legend kind of was when that took place. Interesting. It is. It's very like that one's like a complex one.
So they'll say based on a true story, and it's just whose version of the story you get.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see we're at time already, but do you guys have a few minutes to go over some more topics still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's talk about the Warrens for a minute. Thoughts on the Warrens?
Thoughts? You want my thoughts?
She roasted the Warrens.
I'll give you some.
Oh, you did?
She did a roast of Ed and Lorraine.
So we do have, we do roasts every once in a while. And I think they were maybe the first roast we did.
I think they were.
And the reason why is because when we covered The Conjuring, my goal, and this was a while ago, but my goal was to look into the actual story of the witch, who was haunting the Conjuring house. And when you dive into that, it's kind of one of those now wait a minute, was someone just accused of
poor Bathsheba
because they were a woman? And so I got really kind of pissed off a little bit about that, and then started diving into the Warrens. And I am just not buying what they were selling, if I could be completely blunt. I think it is important, not to bring up Harry Houdini and Doyle again, but I think in this paranormal world, it's important to be both, right? I think it's important to be a skeptic and a believer. My skeptic comes out with the Warrens because I feel like they were maybe taking advantage of people and were lying.
I feel like Lorraine really had a gift. I feel like she was a medium, and I think Ed was the used car salesman of the duo, and I think that he marketed it to profit them.
But she did not seem blameless in the matter.
No, of course not.
Right. They seemed very much like they were
they were self-proclaimed demonologists.
I don't know how much you know about their story.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm a aficionado on them or anything, but I've definitely...
You've heard what we're referencing, kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, all the things, I know that they were self-proclaimed demonologists. I know that they would market themselves and go around and speak. They had a very big speaking engagement.
Very big, yeah.
And then, of course, the house with the museum and everything, which was kind of my next question. What are your thoughts on the sale of the house / museum?
We haven't even talked about this yet. Did it sell? Is it officially sold? What is going? Because I kept hearing it was going back and forth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I heard Matt Rife bought it, and he has the rights to. He doesn't own the museum artifacts, but he has the rights to them for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm not going to lie. I thought Zach Bagans would have just done anything to have gotten to that.
He didn't know. I think it happened out from underneath him.
Matt Rife snuck on in there. For the juicy tea of it, that's kind of exciting. But do I trust Matt Rife with I don't know artifacts. You, Matt Rife, but do I trust him with all those artifacts? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know him.
Because I don't know you. I don't maybe trust anybody with that amount of haunted artifacts.
Right.
I didn't like that they were hoarding. Is that maybe not
hoarding artifacts?
I think that they said that they were doing it to keep the items away from people and keep people safe.
But then they take them on tour and show them to people.
Well, then that brings up the next thing, which is the Conjuring house being for sale, and then now it's not for sale.
That maybe that's what I was seeing go back and forth.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Because I shouldn't say for sale. It was going up on the auction block on Halloween. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden,
pulled it or something.
Somebody paid for it off, behind, but nobody knows who.
Maybe it was Zach.
Okay. Zach. So I have there's this interesting, in terms of houses like that, once there's so much lore around something, I feel like the lore almost becomes an energetic entity itself, a tulpa, or it becomes its own thing. So I wouldn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, because just because I think that originally it probably had some bad energy, and then just over the years of this crazy story building that it probably would not be something I would want to go.
Well, that begs the question of art imitates life, right? Because then you have Shirley Jackson and you have The Haunting of Hill House.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you have like the Amityville Horror. And, so were they inspired by her book? You know what I mean? To take on this marketing, or did this really occur? Because if you dive down into the, which we bring up the Warrens again, the Amityville Horror, is that, they all sat around the table and said, hey, we need to make some money and let's make up the story.
Let's make up a ghost story.
Story. And, so you question the legitimacy of some of these things.
Right.
I'm a big skeptic. So
yeah. Again, I think as you should be.
Yeah.
So you guys have done a dive into Haunted Hollywood, right?
Yeah. I would say yeah.
On some things, I think there's always more. I find Hollywood and old Hollywood very fascinating. Yeah,
I find it fascinating too, and I feel like there's so many stories and so many tales and so many locations.
Yeah,
so many. I think I saw you went to the Poltergeist house.
I did.
You see, like stuff like that, Haunted Hollywood, where really that's cool. How was that?
So that was interesting because when I first heard about people going to investigate the Poltergeist house, I was super skeptical. I was like, wait, come on, you guys. This is a movie set. Like, it was a house used for a fictional movie. Or wait, I always get fictional and non-fictional movie. Like, it's make-believe. Like, what are we doing here?
Why are we doing this? Yeah.
And then I was like, I heard people say, oh, no, it's more the curse of the of Poltergeist, the movie and stuff, because so many people had tragic
really sad.
ends.
Yeah, it is.
And that is sad. And I get kind of going into that a little bit. And then I heard, no, it's more about the house had a lot of like a family lived there for almost like 40 something years or whatever. And there were like 3 deaths in the house. So then I kind of get, okay, maybe we're going there with that. So when I went there, I was doing it more for nostalgia. Like, let's just check out the Poltergeist house.
Yeah.
And then I'll be the judge if anything's going on here, kind of attitude about it. But we got crazy stuff while we were there.
Wow.
See?
Yeah.
And that's where I mean, like, is it the original? Like, was there originally something there? Or is it because so many people are like adding their energy to it?
Yeah.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
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 I love that.
It manifests.
It is. It's super interesting. Okay. You guys talked about cord cutting.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Right? Yeah. I think I got there from Edward Scissorhands, if you saw how I did that. Yes.
It's so interesting, the cord cutting. I was just talking about this with somebody else on the podcast recently too, but it's interesting how sometimes maybe you have to learn a lesson in order to do that cord cutting.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It can come with a lot of lessons. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know, cord cutting is a spell, a ritual, whatever you want to call it, to sever a tie of some sort. And usually it is, it's calling for drastic measures if you're looking towards cord cutting. I mean, if you think about the act of like scissors cutting a cord, it's doing that with another energy, another person. So yeah, I think to get to that cord cutting moment comes with a lot of lessons, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's really interesting because we were just talking about something like in real life that's going on, and it was AJ Barrera, I think, that I was talking to about it, and he was like, oh, it was a cord cutting lesson though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, they're important. They are really important. I think it's like a crossroads kind of a thing, like if you want to look at it like that, and it definitely will pivot you, but it is necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, with the holidays coming up, I want to ask you about the wishbone and the bone magic.
Oh, okay.
You also did that one, right? That was yours.
Oh my God. See, and this is a good example. I talked about the movie Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore, which is like a ridiculous movie. But in my mind, they broke a wishbone at the end of that movie. They didn't. Spoiler alert. But they carve a turkey. And so the wishbone was on my mind. So yeah, we talked about wishbone magic and how there is like an actual like it is really supposed to be a ritual of breaking the wishbone, and like that was an actual thing, which I find. And then then the symbolism of wishbones, if you see people with a wishbone on jewelry, or it actually carries
energy
and meaning,
and fortune. Well, I feel like a lot of holiday meals are all about bringing fortune. It's the same with New Year's celebrations. Here in Pennsylvania, it's like pork, but sauerkraut, and it's, good luck and fortune. And I think there's beans, some sort of beans, a dish with beans in other cultures.
Okay.
But it's all about bringing prosperity and fortune. We talk a lot about the seasons and, going back and how the crops were the sustaining life. And when winter came and the sun wasn't there was a huge fear that life would not sustain. And so it was a waiting game to wait for the sun to come back. And, they all crossed their fingers in hopes that it would, so they could grow crops again. So that time period was really about doing anything and everything they could to appease the gods or appease the sun.
Yeah.
Or, please come back. And so everything they did was all about bringing prosperity and making sure the sun was coming back.
Putting intention behind.
Yeah.
Like everyday things.
Yeah.
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 It's so interesting. And bringing it back to the wishbone thing. So I feel like I maybe have done this before in my life, but you get the wishbone out and two people grab it, right? And pull it. And then who's the winner? What that gets the bigger
piece?
Bigger piece.
The person with like the bigger piece, because it will naturally snap into like one bigger chunk. Whoever has that bigger chunk is like
the lucky
set
dog
for the year.
Okay.
You have fortune for the year. And
are there any other fun like holiday, like magical things like that?
You know what? We made Yule logs this last year. That was cool.
I mean, I think the evergreen is, traditionally because it was the one plant that stayed green. And so that was hope for them. And so that's a lot of times you will see at the holidays, depending on what you celebrate, oranges, because it represented the sun and the vitality of the sun. They sometimes are, people will poke cloves into oranges.
Yes.
Cloves are very prosperous and they're used in money magic rituals. And so you're seeing things, star anise, things that, again, are bringing hope for the sun to come back. And so the evergreen, that's why it started being brought into the house, because it gave them, talk about seasonal depression. That wasn't a thing way back in the day. Bringing the green into the house.
Well, it was. They just didn't know what to call it.
Right. It didn't have a label, but it brought hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, all of those little traditions, the mistletoe, of course, and,
it's a lot about bringing the natural world in to your own space and practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just have to tell you, you just unlocked a core memory of mine that I forgot all about. Like I was a kid and poking the cloves into the oranges. I don't even remember why we were doing that, but
she loved it. I did it when I was a kid. That and the popcorn and cranberries on a string is what we would do to decorate.
Wait, but the cloves and the orange, what was that? What did that, is that like an air freshener? Like what did that do?
Well, so during the plague, during the bubonic plague, we talk about microbial things, cloves, cinnamon. So again, it brought good luck. In that time period, they would carry the oranges and smell them. And they thought it kind of protected them from the plague, and it like masked the smell.
That's so interesting. So
there.
I was just in Scotland last year at this time, and the plague doctor, like we did the whole the underground tours and all that stuff, and they had the plague doctor outfit and stuff, and that big nose thing was for a purpose. They would stuff herbs and things in there so that they didn't smell the like rotting bodies and the
creativity at its finest.
Yeah,
you know?
well, we talk about plants, we talk about the Victorian era, and all of the bustles and the clothes and the wool in the summer and, bathing, there was a fear of like bathing that you would get sick. And so there wasn't a lot of bathing. And, so they would carry those little pouches and you'll see them a lot in Victorian garb and they would be filled with herbs. Strewing herbs, and as they walked they would throw them, so as they stepped on them the fragrance would come up and kind of mask their scent,
the odor.
The olden day perfume.
Yes.
It's like I used to work at the Ren Fair and we had those like stretchy bonnet things that we had to wear. It was part of our costume, but back in the day they would wear that so that the bugs didn't jump off their hair and into somebody else's.
Yeah. Right.
Gosh, we've spent like 20 years at the Renaissance Festival. I used to be the marketing and event manager at the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival.
Oh.
And then I was a tarot card reader for many years there. So, and you hawked beef jerky.
I sold peanut brittle and beef jerky.
Wait, I thought you were a vegetarian.
Exactly. I'm sitting there trying to sell beef jerky in like an old accent. Oh my god!
Old accent.
Put me through as a kid. Love it. But
I love the Ren Fair. I love it.
They're so fun. They're so fun. We love it. Yeah.
It's great.
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much for coming on and doing the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Tell everybody listening how they can listen to your podcast, follow you on social media, and all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, we're at UBMC Pod on everything. Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Our next Lilydale retreat is going to be May West Day, believe it or not.
Yeah. So and I hope to be there.
Oh, hey, we should definitely do something.
I'm going to come crash your guys' retreat.
Please do. We should definitely like do an investigation or something. That would be fun.
Yeah, we should.
So August, 13th through 17th is when we'll be there.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, passes go on sale in January. And we would love to see you all there and come hang out at Uncle Bob's. We talk about weird shit all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. It's been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Ghost Bunny Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on my spooky adventures, and I look forward to sharing a new ghost story with you each week. Please subscribe to my podcast so you're always the first to know when a new episode is out, and follow me on social media at Ghost Bunny Podcast on Instagram, at Ghost Bunny Podcast on YouTube for the video version of the podcast, and at Bridget Marquardt on Instagram. Oh, and Patreon. I love you guys. Bye.